At some point, celebrity culture is something considered superfluous and a common example of banality in current times. Entertainment has become a non-negotiable feature to expect not just in traditionally serious areas like journalism, education, religion, or sometimes even politics. Publicity is also a good example of it. Companies are always looking to prove the realness of their products instead of their artificiality. Lady Gaga dedicates considerable efforts in presenting herself as someone not corrupted because of the music industry and someone who genuinely cares about her fans, as we have seen previously. She puts a lot of emphasis on her origins and on the way she has reached success. She uses Twitter to remind followers that she was constantly bullied by other students in her childhood. Now, she is constantly showing herself as an example of overcoming the same challenges her fans are going through, and she provides a place for her fans to be loved unconditionally. Another authenticity arena for Gaga is meritocracy. It's not just that she puts hard work and support from her fans as the main causes for her successful career. She also claims that music and lyrics composition are entirely hers, and that she never would use such artificial things like lip syncing in live shows. Another relevant aspect is when she introduces parts of her life where she exhibits other talents apart from music composition. Writing, designing, and doing research about fame are some of the activities that have been mentioned on Twitter and in some of their public appearances. As fame history scholar Leo Brody said, "The most usual mistake of the famous in our era is to think that the language of fame can be used without one being used by it."
The pressures of maintaining fame and the deadly price other superstars have paid for it are a frequent theme in Lady Gaga's performances. At the MTV Video Music Awards, she shocked the audience by ending her song Paparazzi drenched in blood, hanging above the stage, a blonde icon dying before our eyes.
That's what everyone wants to know, right? What's she going to look like when she dies? What's she going to look like when she's overdosed on whatever they think I'm overdosing on? Everybody wants to see the decay of the superstar.
Do you think people want to see your decay?
What? Of course they do. They want to see me fail. They want to see me fall on stage. They want to see me vomiting out of a nightclub. I mean, isn't that the age that we live in? That we want to see people who have it all lose it all? I mean, it's dramatic.
And then climb their way back.
Right. It's a movie. And yet, I just am not like that on my own time. I'm not a vomit in the club kind of girl.
She shows her intellectual side. She also does it in the interviews and in the performance at a consistent basis. It's not a common strategy or a crowded area in mainstream pop stars. So regarding this arena, Gaga has no competition. The academic element could be helpful as a differential element with other divas, usually perceived as aesthetic and sexual objects, and to empower narratives of meritocracy around her. The use of popular culture elements to approach or separate from other iconic figures and from the meanings associated to them, constructing her authenticity by choosing certain elements, discarding others, and revealing doses of particular taste or dislikes. But centrally to her authenticity construction is their activism regarding social causes. She has been involved in conferences, arranged meetings with politicians, started campaigns, and promoting hashtags of discussion around bullying, marriage equality, the earthquake in Japan, and a few others. Twitter has been testimonial of all that activity and the main platform to publish all the updates in these areas.
At the core of Gaga's sense of authenticity is her message of self-acceptance and self-celebration. This message manifests in a variety of ways through her tweets, most notably through the consistent sharing of her worldview. She seems to use Twitter as a vessel to promote the world according to Gaga. 7% of Gaga's tweets espoused Gaga's life philosophy and values. These tweets range from quoting her own philosophical lyrics like, "I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way," to the bizarre, "Love is like a brick. You can build a house or you can sink a dead body," to the cliche, "Life is a red carpet." A core message of self-acceptance would fall flat if it were in words only, Part of Gaga's allure is that she has become the champion of the disenfranchised. Much of her core message is directed toward people who have felt cast aside or othered. One of the first audiences to respond to this message was the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, or LGBT community. Gaga has used Twitter to be extremely vocal about gay rights. 9% of her tweets are focused on a social cause, and most of these are dedicated to a gay rights issue. Lots of other celebrities speak out for causes, and some get involved with active advocacy, but Gaga has really taken action to a whole new level. She was instrumental in ending the United States ban on gays in the military. Gaga wrote numerous tweets to her millions of followers about Don't Ask, Don't Tell. She tweeted directly back and forth with key members of Congress and the United States Senate. She created a video encouraging followers to contact their elected officials, and she lobbied in person to help get the law changed. Then she took a key role in the epidemic of gay teen suicides. One young man in New York named Jamie Rodemeyer idolized Gaga, and one of his very last acts in life before committing suicide was tweeting a goodbye message to Lady Gaga that read, "At Lady Gaga, bye Mother Monster, thank you for all you've done, pause up forever." Gaga responded with a vengeance. In a string of tweets she said, "I'm meeting with our president. I will not stop fighting. This must end. Our generation has the power to end it. Trend it. Hashtag make a law for Jamie." Minutes later, hashtag make a law for Jamie was the top trending topic on Twitter. And a few days later, Gaga followed through and met with President Obama to lobby for anti-bullying legislation.
The fans that we have interviewed remark a whole array of motivations to follow Gaga. They all, even the moderate or the shallow fans, perceive her as someone with strong charisma, even though the dimensions that they feel relevant are sometimes quite different, and in some cases even contradictory. Meanwhile, some perceive positively her origins as a highly educated girl that could have been anything, doing anything else, but she chooses to stand up and support social causes. Others feel that completely irrelevant, focusing on her spectacular aesthetics and considering dimensions like causes or private life access as something even bothering. It is interesting, though, to see how Gaga embodies enough dimensions to fulfill worship from all of them. See, for instance, Joseph Words regarding Gaga fandom. There is a strong message of moving forward. Doesn't matter to be mocked because I am what I am, and I'm cool and I'm great. This is very important in the gay community. However, there is a faction of this same community that what loves is fashion and chic and trendy, and doesn't care that much about the message. Gaga works intensely both aspects, so does in a few more areas, perhaps more than any other contemporary celebrity, and in doing so, she is capable to attach her fans from so many ways. If we try to analyze her as a product or as something to consume, we could easily find out that there is a remarkable effort in marketing it to fit well in a very complete array of possibilities. Another interesting element that came up on the interviews is the package of the tweets from Gaga, as we could see in Natalie's words. For example, she wakes up, does whatever, and sends a message to Tokyo, as she did after the earthquake and the tsunami. So what? Anybody could write down a message, be in a photo, and share it all over. But for instance, for Tokyo, she appeared in a costume like Hello Kitty, lying on her bed in a bossy way, and it kept my attention. These are the kind of things that make me wonder to myself, let's see what Gaga's doing. She's noticing that to care for social causes perhaps is not enough motivation to gather the amount of attention that Gaga holds. Maybe the performance and the stories she creates around it help in offer a better understanding of, on one side, her ability to sustain allure and expectations at their public activity, even for the apparently boring scenarios. And on the other side, it raises once again the prominent ways in which attention holding operates. Entertainment. Gaga is entertaining. She amuses in public events as she does in social media, where she can control and design a world that keeps herself as a central piece. And the strategy is remarkable. Meanwhile, the vast majority of her tweets contain promotional content. This content is most of the time delivered within a personal story in a highly emotional display. Fans, as we spoke to them, manifest that proximity with Gaga as a key reason for them to follow her. She makes them feel close by giving them meaningful content on a regular basis. Fans Find meaning in her music, her dedication to social causes, her thoughts, her feelings, her dresses, or for instance, her glamorous life. It could be all of them, or it could be just part of it. Gaga pushes hard in all these areas, and the message is consistent and recurrent all over her tweets.
We've looked at intimacy as one of the key aspects of the social media effect regarding celebrities. Fame literature has been dealing with how celebrities introduce private life into public sphere since long before the social media. Now this dimension has been reshaped and amplified through these platforms, although the content doesn't necessarily have to. Magazines can go even further into private exposure because the published content sometimes is obtained by paparazzi, under no permission. In social media, stars design their own privacy to share, and most of their followers are perfectly aware of that. What's entirely new is the kind of proximity perceived in witnessing public personalities writing about themselves or about other things, addressing questions to people, answering queries, and letting people have access to them in a real time, in a real way, that would be hard to imagine for such great stars in the past. What role is authenticity playing in all that? It's a key issue for the credibility of a public personality. Gaga has worked so hard on this, as she has explicitly marketed a lot of areas regarding herself, her origins, and her goals on Twitter in an effort to exude authenticity. However, because of the over-the-top artistry, she is often accused of being completely inauthentic or not being herself, which she addresses here.
Everybody asked me the same question, what is she really like?
Photographers say this to me all the, I want to photograph the real you. I'm like, what the hell are you looking for? I'm right here. You've seen me with no makeup. You've asked me about my drug history, my parents, my bank account. I mean, how much more real could I be?
Love her or hate her, there's no denying that she has amassed a massive empire of fans and has done so largely through a calculated and masterful social media approach that is centered around Twitter. Thank you very much for having us, and please enjoy the rest of the conference. For more information on our research, please contact us on Twitter.